Hey, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Johnny. Whoa, 4 Zelda theories in a row? What's happening?
So, a while back, I found this little post on Reddit. They talk about how one of the NPCs in Breath of the Wild might be secretly evil. I thought it funny and all, but didn't give it much thought. But my mind kept coming back to that idea, and it made more and more sense over time. Until I decided to take a closer look and redo the whole from the ground up side quest from Breath of the Wild. And now, I'm convinced that the quiet, awkward and friendly carpenter Hudson is quite a suspicious character and probably has a hidden agenda against you.
Before we start, I just want to say that this Reddit post is the only place I've seen anyone mentioning this idea, so be sure to check the original post as well. We'll leave the link for you in the description below. It really deserves more attention than it got. We did message the user who created it, but they never replied, so if you're watching this, I hope you don't mind us using your idea as a basis for this video, and if you have any problems with it, feel free to message us back on Reddit. Now, on to the theory.
The first time I meet Hudson is in Hateno Village. He's a carpenter who works for Bolson Construction, alongside his boss, Bolson, and his junior, Carson. And after you decide to purchase the house they have been hired to demolish, he then asks your name, and as soon as he learns your link, he realizes who he's talking to. The fallen hero from 100 years ago, as he already knows you are on a mission to do something important, which is already kind of suspicious.
The problem is that this mission goes against Hudson's goals, for he is a Yiga sympathizer and wants Ganon to succeed. That's right, Hudson is a nasty Yiga. Bet you didn't see that coming, huh? The Yiga split from the Sheikah tribe eons ago, and are the main force actively working to stop Link in his journey, and Hudson sees a chance to aid his master. He quickly accepts to travel on behalf of Bolson Construction to work on the creation of a new settlement. When finally out of the watchful eyes of his employer, Hudson changes the classical carpenter's blue shirt for a red one, which everybody knows represents evil, just like the color of the Yiga uniforms, the Blood Moon, the Calamity, sort of, kind of, and apples? I don't know what else is even red. Anyway, and ditch Bolson's logo for his own. That looks just like a Smurf's.
When meeting him up in the isolated Akala region, because he knew Link would snoop around, he says he was the one that decided to build a village, and decided to name it Tarrey Town. Now hold on, tarry means to delay doing something or stay in one place for too long, which is the exact reason he devised this plan, to hold Link back and buy Ganon time to escape Hyrule Castle. He then starts sending Link on a guilt trip for having nothing and no one around to help, even though he just started the construction and that is to be expected, knowing full well that the wannabe hero would be more than willing to give a helping hand to anyone in need.
The first thing he asks for is quite reasonable, 10 bundles of wood, so he can start building. Now wait a second, so you're telling me Hudson started building his own town without the most basic material he would need? Well, I mean, what can he do, right? He's just an NPC after all. The second you hand it over, he starts complaining about how he can't do anything about this big rock, even though he has a Goron pickaxe and already busted the rocks where he built his own house. He did nothing else while Link was gathering wood, so Hudson sends you to find a Goron, and even points out it will be a long shot, just as he was expecting. And to make matters harder, although I'll admit this isn't completely his fault, this Goron must fit the Bolson Construction policy to have a name ending in Son. Why, Bolson? Why would you do that?
After seeing Link concluded the mission, while Hudson was still breaking the same rock, to buy a little more time he asked for twice the amount of wood from before, which players will probably already have with them by now. So, in a quick lame excuse, he complains that his clothes got worn while hardly working. So off you go to find a good tailor, not just anyone who can make simple working clothes, but someone gifted at tailoring. So he suggests finding a Gerudo on the other side of the kingdom, where there are Sheikah who can make lightweight clothes to withstand combat, almost next door. But no, Hudson wants nothing to do with those traders. Again, he expects it to be a hard task, and still throws in that the Gerudo's name should end with Son, even if he is the one who will be requesting clothes from her and she didn't even need to be hired by Bolson Construction.
Back to Tarrey Town, Hudson is still breaking the same goddamn rock, while the Gorons are the ones actually doing the hard work. He points out the Gerudo Ronson did a good job on his clothes, and can't find a reason to complain about it with Link, so he asks for even more wood. Now he starts to feel the need to actually develop something in town, perhaps from his personal lack of progress to report to Bolson. So a general store seems like a good idea, because obviously people move to where shops are located and not the other way around. When Link suggests a traveling merchant, you know, the kind of people that actually carry heavy bags of supplies and have donkeys to hold their cargo and are literally all around Hyrule, he has to make things harder and ask for a Rito, under the shallow excuse that since they can fly around, they should be able to carry supplies more easily. Just remember that the Rito in this game are large bird people who can barely carry their own weight on air without an updraft. Once more, this newcomer will open his own store and Hudson still manages to fool Link into complying to the naming rule.
Mission complete, and I've seen mountains move faster than Hudson. Come on man, it's just a freaking rock. You're not even trying to hide the fact that you're not working. He's surprised Link didn't waste more time in his wild goose chase, and even comments that the new guy is just selling what he picked up while flying, so nothing much heavier than arrows. No, I just can't accept Hudson will be this dumb. He's an evil mastermind to make Link believe in such foolishness, and he still has the audacity to ask for more wood. But now, oh now, starts the grand finale. He had time to think, and realized Link is much more capable than he expected. And it's just a matter of time till he gets to Hyrule Castle and defeats Calamity Ganon. So he sets his new plan in motion.
Hudson knows of the old legend that Ganon was once a Gerudo man, so he decided to marry Ronson, the Gerudo tailor Link had invited to Tarrey Town. But why not make Link run around a little more? Time to find a priest. It's wedding time. So he asks for Zora for what exactly? Being devout people? To whom? There are lots of Hylians in Sheikah that are way more devout to Hylia than the Zoras, but he wants nothing to do with those Hylia worshippers. His god is the Lord of Darkness. But since he would probably need a literal Yiga to perform a ceremony like this, he compromises with a race a little less connected to the goddess. I'm just surprised he didn't ask for another Gerudo here. And even though this person is just supposed to officiate the celebration, he still wants someone with a name ending in Sun, but fate is always on Link's side, and there's an old Zora that fits the requirements, eager to perform one last wedding in his life.
Finally, the town is complete, thanks to the Gorons if you ask me, and Hudson is really impressed there was someone up to his specifications. He's busy preparing the wedding, how convenient, so sends Link on his last run to invite Bolson and Carson to come from Hateno. After calling them, look at all the preparation he had to do. The place looks exactly like the last time we were here, and we all know it wasn't him who made the wedding clothes. Then something that's unexpected, but not really his fault. With the couple being employees of Bolson Construction, they will need to name their children following the company's naming guidelines. The wedding is over, Hudson was sad his previous plan to stop Link wasn't long enough for Ganon to free itself. He realizes Tarrey Town is complete, and there's not much else holding Link around. So, if you continue to talk to him, he encourages Link to continue his mission. He knows it's a lost cause by now, but it doesn't matter. His next plan is already in motion. It won't be any surprise if they are expecting or already had a child by the next game. Odds are it will be a perfectly normal Gerudo girl, but there's always a chance, and I'm sure Hudson hopes so, it will be a beautiful baby Antichrist boy called Ganondorfson. Ganondorfson. Ganonson?
The town ended up being a good place for everybody that moved in. They all felt unvalued or out of place where they lived before. But after bringing such diversity to this little town, you know what is the most basic thing this little community is missing? Food. You know the one race that is missing? The Sheikah. They could very well have called someone like the Cuckoo guy from Kakariko, which is nearby, but Hudson never even considered bringing one of them here, just further proving his spite towards them.
In a game where since the very beginning everybody's telling Link he must hurry because the Calamity is getting stronger and could break out over the rest of Hyrule at any moment, this guy sends Link on the longest ongoing quest in the game. You do get a nice shop with special items from one of the villagers that move into town after it's finished, but the only reward you get for actually completing it are some diamonds that you probably won't even need at this point, and a bunch of shops in the same location, excluding the ore shop, all containing products that could be purchased elsewhere for the same exact price, never far from a warp point.
So there you have it, Hudson is a Yiga confirmed. Or at least yes, who knows. Thank you for watching our video to the end, And if you enjoyed, please remember to give it a like and consider subscribing to our channel. It's free.
And if you want to see more, you can click here to check our last theory of Zelda, in which we talk about the different powers of the almighty Triforce. See you next time.
Bye. Why, Bolson? Why?